You've drawn a bunch of really iconic comic book characters. Which one's been your favorite?
The one I'm drawing at that time, and it seems sort of silly, but it's true, because when you're in a room for 10, 12 hours and you've got these blank pages, then whatever the character is, at least for me, that was in front of me, that's the one that I'm focused on, right? Okay. So I'm not sitting there drawing Batman going, oh my God, someday I hope I can do Iron Man, because then I'm not enjoying Batman. So what I do is that when I'm drawing Batman, which may have been 3 days after I drew the Hulk, I then put on my Batman head and I go, oh, what's cool about Batman? What would be fun to draw? And back in those days, I wasn't doing the writing. Mm-hmm. So to me, it was all about what does it visually look like. So Batman then, he's got the big giant cape and he looks like a big bat creature, and he's got the big pointy ears, and he's just sort of fun. Hulk is this big giant thing. Spider-Man is this little wispy guy. So each one of them, I was just trying to figure out what's the 2 or 3 things that I can put on it that will allow me to enjoy drawing the pages, so that I can get through the deadlines and do it month after month after month, right? And I wasn't looking at any other character. So I was enjoying my time on Spider-Man, but if somebody had said, the editorial staff had said, hey Todd, you're not doing Spider-Man, you're doing Captain America, he would have become my favorite at that moment, because I would have then gone, what can I do with Captain America? And I would have started the whole process over.
Are there any characters that you haven't gotten to draw and would want to?
No, not really, because like I said, maybe part of it is because I broke into comic books so late. I didn't start collecting until I was 16, so I didn't really grow up on them. So maybe because of that, I was able to just, whatever is in front of me, I'll do the best. I mean, for the last 25 years, I've been doing Spawn, so he's been my favorite for the last 2 decades. But if somebody threw another character, or I created a new character, and I've done it from time to time, then that becomes your new creative child, and you begin to raise artistically that child in your brain, and you have fun with it. So no, I know people who go, oh yeah, my favorite character is X, and I wish I could draw him someday, even though I'm drawing another book. I know those creators, but I didn't ever have that piece in the puzzle. I thought they were all kind of cool in their own way. They're all worthy of being drawn, I thought.
Okay, and I'm glad you mentioned Spawn, because I don't think anybody can think of Spawn without thinking of you. What was the journey like, drawing Spawn and just bringing him to life?
Look, there's a couple of rules in life that I think are true. One of them is don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's true. Number 2, location, location, location. That's true. And the other one is stick to what you know. Stick to what you know, right? So don't get out of your lane too far. So here's what I know, me. So Spawn really is based on the easy premise of, what if this maniac called Todd actually got hit by a bolt of lightning and had these fantastic powers? How would I be reacting to all of these situations? And then I just put it down on paper, right? So it's not an accident that his ex-wife is got the same name as my wife, and that he gets mad at bosses that basically don't treat their secretaries right, and people who mess with young kids, and all these things that you don't pay your alimonies. I mean, just the stuff that bugs me anyway. So I just put it on to Spawn, but he also had superpowers. He can make something happen with it. And then there's the whole concept, really way beyond that, is I think that the journey of being a hero or becoming a hero should not be easy, and it should not come without its price. Okay. And so to me, what's more interesting about Spawn isn't that he'll become the best hero, although there's a chance, because if you can beat heaven and hell, those are 2 biggest sort of things you can go up against. It's more of what's the path, right? Because will he become a great hero? Ultimately, who knows, right? But if he does, then it's going to be a learning experience. Because if you were a great journalist, I'm sure, got hit by a bolt of lightning tomorrow, and the government came to you and went, oh my gosh, you can now lift tall buildings or whatever, how do we stop war? You're not any smarter about that topic. You're just a guy who can now lift buildings. So you would have to then over time figure out whether you could then use those powers for a positive, or if you're a flawed human being, you may actually go, I don't know, and you may be squirrely, and you end up using them in the wrong way, or you get too emotional, or you're hot-headed, and because if you're a wife beater, and I fear if you're a wife beater and you get the power.
Yeah.
Because now you're just a powerful wife beater or a drunk, and so the human flaws come with the powers. And to me, what's interesting is showing those human flaws.
Okay, and just bring that back to what you were saying about how Venom was created. That you wanted to redraw Spider-Man as red and blue.
Right.
It's very, very hopeful colors. It's part of his whole good guy aspect.
It's just his look. It had nothing to do with it's just his look.
Okay.
Because as a kid, I'm going, that's his look. So if I went to the Batman office and Batman was in a yellow suit, but he had pointy ears and a bat, I would have said the same thing.
Okay.
I don't want to draw a yellow Batman suit. That's not Batman. I need him in his Batman suit, right?
Okay.
Because again, you and I grew up with these classic looks, and I just, as a geek, wanted to draw the classic looks. I didn't intellectualize all of it. I mean, I've heard all the conversation of the reason why people like Peter Parker because he's a flawed teenager and he has the same problems as everybody else. Okay, that's interesting because it doesn't explain Bruce Wayne, who's actually the opposite of Peter Parker. He's actually a billionaire who's got everything at his disposal, and all the girls want to date him. And we still like him, right? So is it because we like good-looking guys with money who get lots of dates, or is it because of people who have no money who not are quite good-looking who can't get any dates? Which one is it? The answer is, I think we're overthinking both of them. He's a guy got spider powers, and it's cool. And the other guy puts on this costume and goes and scares the bad guy at midnight, and he looks like a giant bat. That's also kind of cool, right? I don't know. Maybe because I'm an artist, I look at it visually, I go, shoot, how they get there to me is obviously it has to be of interest so you can last for decades. Just like I was talking to you about Spawn, you're going to have to show these interesting stories. But still, those interesting stories have to be built upon a backdrop of Spider-Man, and what he does is just really cool to look at and fun to even think that you could be that person. And the same with Superman and Batman and Thor and hopefully Spawn and Iron Man and all these other characters, right? And so, like you actually also want to go, what's it like being in that costume? It'd be awesome. Because why? If you walk outside here, there's about 10,000 cosplayers that are in costume today that are doing the exact same thing.